Well, I am coming online today to put out a Front Street notice. I'm putting my case together, and I've been doing some extensive research to take a matter to a federal court. And I am definitely one step closer to getting the meat and the potatoes of what is going on in the big picture. And so I wanted to put this out there for the record and for anybody out there that actually raises an ear when they hear those terms, genetic citizen science. What's that talking about? Oh dear. Okay, so what we need to understand, the landscape going on in the world right now is there's a whole lot of change, right? We know this. There's a whole lot of presentment of inclusiveness and equality, and that's great. I'm seeing a lot of information being gathered and collected, and terminologies issued, and all this stuff. You know, you got Texas finally deciding that we're going to reform the Child Protective Services because like 100,000 kids are like dying a year in their possession. But I think that's more or less because they're under the pressure, because they're one of the states that has the most egregious penalties for women choosing to abort. Yeah. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to balance this. And what I've also found is, you know, my argument on that is you guys can't just change the abortion rules without fixing what the problem is. Let's take a look at the statistics. It's very bad. Okay, literally, we've got like 140 million children born each year worldwide, and then we've got about 121 million unintended pregnancies, which about 73 million of those result in abortion. You know, statistically up until what, 2019. So essentially, half of the 1 out of 2 children that are born was unintended. But the statistics get even worse, because then you look at of those unintended, you know, of the basically what it means is that there of the children that are born, there's a large percentage of them that were unintended that still went to full term. The numbers are out of control, and what it tells you is that women don't want to be having the babies with the men that are impregnating them. You see, and women don't want to kill babies. It's not fun to have an abortion. I'm sure there might be some people that would there's some people that use abortion for, you know, contraception. That doesn't make any sense. But there might be some groups of people that just are continuously not using typical contraception, but that's neither here nor there. No woman wants to have an abortion. No woman wants to be getting pregnant with a man she doesn't want to have a baby with. So what we've got is we got problems, you know, men exploiting the vulnerabilities of women that are being ding-dongs. You know, I'm going to suggest that basically, well, I'm not going to go there. Let me get to the point. Okay, so genetic citizen science. Is this the one? Yeah. Okay. Look at this. This is at the annualreviews.org. And it's an article titled Credit for and Control of Research Outputs in Genomic, not genetic, Genomic Citizen Science. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically read through this document, and I'm going to look into any definitions of words that need to be clarified. And if it continues to continue forever and ever, and I decide that I want to try to pull that in, I might decide to do so. But for your knowledge, we're going to be going through this document right now. And also, I'll pull this up just so you have the definition right away. What is passive research? It's cute what Google says. It's when a pen tester conducts their work without much effort. It's exploring a network and its operating systems to get an idea of how it's all configured. Alerts for situations such as database errors, which facilitates an organization to ensure confidentiality and integrity. Now it says passive data gathered without the involvement of the data provider. The participant, data provider, may not even know that the data is being captured. Unlike active data, passive data is completely objective. Examples of passive data collection: internet browsers, websites, mobile phones. Right. Etc., etc. Credit for and control of research outputs in genomic citizen science. This is going to be great. Citizen science encompasses activities with scientific objectives in which members of the public participate as more than passive research subjects from whom personal data or biospecimens are collected and analyzed by others. Citizen science is increasingly common in the biomedical sciences, including the fields of genetics and human genomics. Genomic citizen science initiatives are diverse and involve citizen scientists in collecting genetic data, solving genetic puzzles, and conducting experiments in community laboratories. All right. At the same time that genomic citizen science is presenting new opportunities for individuals to participate in scientific discovery, it's also challenging norms regarding the manner in which scientific research outputs are managed. Those norms, huh? In this review, we present a typology of genomic citizen science initiatives, describe ethical and legal foundations for recognizing genomic citizen scientists' claims of credit for and control of research outputs, and detail how such claims are or might be addressed in practice across a variety of initiatives. Although many definitions have been proposed, citizen science generally refers to participation in scientific research by members of the public in capacities beyond those of passive research subjects. Oh, participants in scientific research by members of the public beyond passive research subjects. Scientific research has been conducted in collaboration with or exclusively by citizen scientists outside of professional research settings for centuries. Did they just throw that in there? I love it. They've been doing this for centuries, you guys. Right, genetic science. Genomic science. Yeah. And examples of citizen science can be found today in nearly every field of scientific inquiry, from ecology and astronomy to climate science and biotechnology. In recent years, citizen science initiatives in the fields of genetics and human genomics have become popular. These initiatives, which we broadly refer to as genomic citizen science, why don't you just say GCS at this point? Because they want to drill it into our brains. Fair enough. I might just go with GCS if you don't mind. Genomic citizen science. Okay, wait. These initiatives, which we broadly refer to as genomic citizen science, have been fueled in part by the decreasing cost of genotyping and genetic sequencing and increasing interest in individually tailored precision medicine and direct-to-consumer genetic testing services that interpret customers' genetic data for insights about their health, ancestral origins, traits, and habits. Many direct-to-consumer testing firms and some research studies offer customers access to their raw genetic. Oh, that's nice. Which they can share with each other, with specific researchers, or broadly with the public for investigation in traditional studies and citizen science projects. And as the pace of the democratization of biotechnologies accelerates, citizen scientists will increasingly be able to access laboratory tools and techniques for use in these investigations. I'd have to say, you probably shouldn't use the word investigations, but you did, and you told us. Yeah, we know. Because isn't it just a science project? Ooh. At the same time that citizen science presents new opportunities for individuals to participate in scientific discovery and self-discovery, it's also challenging norms regarding the manner. Wait, did I read that? No, I didn't. They just repeating themselves. Regarding the manner in which scientific research outputs are managed. Whereas research inputs include individual data and biospecimens, as well as the effort inherent in the collection. Oh, wait a minute. Whereas research inputs, right, those scientists include individual data and biospecimens, as well as the effort inherent in the collection, classification, and analysis of these resources. Research outputs encompass tangible and intangible ideas and things that result from research, including findings, conclusions, writings, inventions, tools, technologies, and products. And there's a cute little picture right here, and there's one they didn't mention in there, but they got it there. It's also got the word, it's inventions. I thought it was interventions. Carry on. Okay. Within the traditional scientific establishment, long-standing norms, institutional policies, contractual arrangements, and legal rules dictate how professional scientists are rewarded for their research outputs. Well, I'd also have to contend that those things, the institutional policies, contractual arrangements, and legal rules, also dictate how professional scientists are regulated, not just rewarded. Carrying on. Such rewards include recognition from and rights associated with authorship of publications in peer-reviewed journals and presentations at scientific conferences, prizes conferred by professional societies, grant funding, and in private industry and increasingly academia, named inventorship of patented ideas and technologies. Okay, just keep on going. Citizen science unsettles these practices by involving other, sometimes many other, individuals in the research process who, as a result of their labor and other inputs, right, curated data, might also have valid claims to credit for or control of research outputs, yet are not bound by the institutional policies and agreements that typically resolve such claims for professional scientists. You hear that? Just so you know, they said it right there. They said it right to our faces. These citizen scientists, you know what I mean? They don't have any of the regulations. So they're not bound by those policies and agreements that typically resolve claims for professional scientists, or I guess against. Thus, when citizen scientists collaborate with professional scientists, problems can arise if they disagree about who should be recognized for the production of research outputs, or how those outputs should be disclosed and used. Wow. You're kidding me. So these citizen scientists are like trying to tell the scientists that are professional what to do. I can just imagine it. You see how there's a problem here, you guys? You already have an empowered and entitled group of citizens out there thinking they're virologists out there collecting data and specimens and whatnot, but that's not the extent of it. You guys actually have harassment squads out there, crisis cats. You guys are fabricating harm on people. Yes, you are. Don't deny it. And you know what? The scientific community just built in a cute little loophole trying to make it sound like it's nice, warm, and fuzzy little science projects. Oh no. They've been going on for centuries. Right. We got you, and you're fired, okay? We're going to protect our genetic information. We're going to protect our intellectual property. We're going to protect our children. We're going to protect mothers and the women that have wombs and the ability that we have to choose what's going on with us, and you don't get to say anything otherwise. We're going to protect our earth. We're going to protect our mental capabilities. We're going to protect our ability to strive and to thrive and to enjoy life, living in abundance, all of us. That means nobody's got billions and trillions of dollars. That means nobody's going to be eating meat while everyone's eating crickets. We're going to bring back what was always wanted. A world where there's not people in power that have their own ideologies and that just smell like farts and pheromones like beans. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, you know what I'm saying? The ones that don't have wombs, with all due respect, I'm gonna get there, and we're allowed to. I found the word that defines it. Actually, there's a term for it. There's all these, terms that they use to describe what's happened. This is like structural inequality. When they treat us a certain way because of what they've done for all this time. There's so many terms, and I got them written down just to be able to use them in context, because this is what's happening. So I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Women were the first slaves on earth, and then their children. Okay. And we've never been released. We're still hostages, slaves. So with all due respect to anybody else whose rights have been violated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, we're going to get ours back first. And I know that we've already not been giving them back first while everybody else is getting them, but it's happening. Okay. Women want to be released from this servitude, submissive servitude that doesn't serve anything. Look at where our world is at today. It smells like shit, and we're going to fix this thing. But I'm just giving you guys the head notice. Be on the lookout for you guys having to learn to sit down, hush, and pay attention. Okay. And I'm not kidding around. This is disgusting. Violence, 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 violence. You guys and your money competitions are fired. Anyhow, take a deep breath and carry on. Because it gets me going. I am not even kidding around. This is disgusting. What are you talking about disgusting? Listen to what I'm telling you and reading. There are citizens policing around trying to be coppers, and there's citizens walking around trying to be virologists collecting data in any which public domain or aggravated circumstance they collect it through either, that are making determinations and hypotheses and writings, all without your knowledge. Are you trying to tell me that they're going to pretend to make a law like, we really care about children, no more abortions? Okay. And yet you're not going to put anything in place to protect women from these men that are targeting them with intentional pregnancy. And that way they can just control their lives, ruin their lives, cause them to be tortured to death, slowly tortured to death. Oh, hell no. And the fact that you guys did things the wrong way around is what's going to prosecute you. Well, geez, if you actually did care, then you probably would have done this first, but you didn't. So whether your words say that you care, your actions speak otherwise. Okay? And I'm going to find the term for that one too. It's the word like plays nice, calling out. I'm calling you guys out. You want to know why? Because I'm trying to let you know ahead of time. Whereas a criminal creep tries to hide, tries to never be found out, tries to still keep it secret. That's weird. A person who's looking out for everybody's best interest says, hey guys, you're going to want to stop that yesterday because we're coming for you and you're going to be fired. That's the nicest thing I can do, is let you know that you smell like shit. We can smell you from here and you're fired. Okay. So we just finished the part where it's like, well, what happens when they disagree on who should be recognized? That's what they're arguing about. They're not even arguing about these hypotheses. Oh my goodness. And I can't wait. I'm going to find the databases. I'm going to find out what's going on. Yeah. Why don't we get to know what our data, why aren't they getting the chromosomes pulled for the children that are questioning their gender? If you're under the age of 21, I swear 21, but okay, 18. If you're under the age of 18, no invasive surgery. And anybody who wants to elect for that is fired. Children abusers, teach the child about their chromosomes. Spend a few years getting comfortable with their skin. We all have to go through puberty. You guys, oh my goodness. No. We are not building a weak citizen society, citizen slave society. We're not creating that. Mama doesn't do things like that. Okay. Mankind has this facade problem. He likes to put on his watch and act like he's going to work and driving nice. And it's a facade. And when he goes behind closed doors, he's a creep. Nuh-uh. Mama does things right up in your face and tells you straight to your face what's going to happen. And she does it with love, but directness, okay? And you appreciate it. And that's what's going on. We're taking this earth back, and it's our turn. You guys drop the ball. It's our turn. So I can argue with that. Let me carry on. So who should get recognized? Okay, so and how it should be disclosed and used. For example, professional scientists might prefer to withhold study results that citizen scientists wish to disseminate to avoid losing a first move. Wait a minute. To avoid losing a first mover or follow on advantage. Here we go. Let's do it. First mover. What is that? Or follow on? It's a marketing strategy. The first mover advantage is the competitive advantage gained by the initial significant occupant of a market segment. You guys are fired. We're not your markets. Nope. We're not numbers. Nope. And what was it? Follow on advantage. I'm assuming it's going to be something similar. In other words, these are probably manners that they're getting paid based on. I don't know. Or, it's like a commission structure. No, man. You're stepping on my follow on advantage. No, hell no. I don't want my commissions to drop. That's what they're doing. Yep. Guaranteed. This is like a commission based situation. Well, that's how you get citizens to participate in stuff like this. But it also gives them this so-called entitlement of secrecy. They think they're working with the scientific community. So you got creeps out there that are violent, that are kidnappers, that are hiding behind their drug certification license so they can pretend to play science games so that they can be exploiting and abusing people behind closed doors. You're fired, and we got you on scope, okay? We got you on scope. We're coming to look at every single one of you. That's every single one of you that gets government funding. All these organizations everywhere. Well, you almost wonder, you guys have so much money going into this and that and this and that. It looks like you care. Well, how come nothing's changing? Because everybody's getting paid for sitting in their little government funding position. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to audit all that. We're going to take a look at what you said you were going to do. And then we're going to take a look at what you did. And we're going to go back. And we're going to take a look at those numbers and go, how well are you doing? And when it contradicts itself, you're fired. You understand that? You work in an agency that's supposed to provide a service and you're simply not, you're fired. Okay? Don't take it personally. Just suck it up and move on. Get your mind out of the gutter is really what that is. All that entitlement, thinking you know what you're doing. You guys, genetic science hasn't been, you guys have been doing this for 100 years. But the truth I'm gonna point out right now is that your guys' hypotheses are like usually wrong. Just read the papers. Go to the NCIM or the National Institute of Health. Look, everything starts out with what they hypothesized, and it usually turns out not to be what they thought it was going to be. Opens up new cans of worms, or is generally unknown. Okay, there's too many unknowns for you guys to be playing with our genes behind the scenes. Oh, no. But you guys decided to do this, and so you guys are going to get fired. We're calling you out. And I'm not even kidding around. Don't act like you guys care about humans when this is the way that you guys use. And the thing is what I read before this, it was like this guy trying to give the introduction, like a summary of what it's going to say. And it's him talking in like jargon. He's talking in jargon and lingo, trying to like still keep it hidden what he's talking about. But you can smell it. You can smell it from a mile away. It's disgusting. Ugh. And you'd understand what I'm talking about if you were targeted with this type of genetic experiment research harassment. Okay, they do. They harass you. Well, they just want to see what your sequences do if you, like, I don't know, avert premeditated murder. That's probably a really good sequence if it overcomes obstacles like that. So they're doing it. They're doing that, you guys. They're not just looking at your data. They're manipulating genes. And they do know who they belong to, by the way. They just pretend like they don't. And I just don't find that very professional. You guys acting like you're an exact field, science. And yet you're being so deceptive. It's just disgusting. And you're fired. We got you on scope. So they might want to disseminate them, right, to avoid losing a first mover or follow on advantage, or they might be required by their institutions to refrain from publicly disseminating results until patent applications
have been filed. Right? Well, they're not going to disseminate it publicly until they file their patent application. Keywords, guys, keywords. For anybody that's involved in like family court, here's a heads up. Remember this. Every time you've done the research and they want to get you lost down those rabbit holes of we're going to tell you what's important for you and your kids, even though they are creeps participating in the human trafficking, industry. Think along the lines of property, but more like trust law. That's all I'm going to say right now. But just think like that. Think like them. Patent applications. Conversely, citizen scientists, or the communities that they represent, might prefer to withhold conclusions that professional scientists wish to disseminate to avoid stigma that could result from disclosure. Why don't you just say it already? What are you guys talking about? Give us an example. Additionally, citizen scientists might prefer to make certain research outputs, such as annotated data sets. Annotated, is that kind of like in your own words? Publicly available without gatekeepers. They use the word gatekeepers. Such as annotated data sets, publicly available without gatekeepers. Whereas professional scientists might prefer to consolidate ownership of and restrict access to those outputs with the goal of monetizing them or to comply with institutional or regulatory research requirements that do not necessarily apply to individual citizen scientists. Again, there we go. Their loophole. Cute. Finally, when the motivation of citizen scientists, particularly those within patient and disease advocacy communities, particularly those within patient and disease advocacy, that sounds like you advocate patients and you advocate diseases. Finally, when the motivation of citizen scientists, particularly those, for engaging the research enterprise is to spur the development of new therapies for diseases, and conditions of interest to them. Well, conditions of interest to them. They might disagree with professional scientists, as well as regulators, on when and how those therapies should be made available to their communities. Oh, did you just do that? You just gave them an informal promotion? Have you talked to your genomic citizen scientist? You guys going to post their phone number too on the website? Just put on the district attorney's site for all, that's probably the best place to put it. Call your genomic citizen scientists if you what? To their communities. Now they represent our communities. I bet you guys will have some symposium worldwide, and you'll invite every little, the top genomic citizen scientist in the area to tell the people what's going on in their communities, that they're based. Oh my God. You know why there's regulation, right? You know why those scientists are bumping up against them, don't ya? You think you're going to get around it by deploying citizen friggin' stranger squads, collecting data and manipulating it? Oh, hell no. Thank you. Thank you for being so aggressively in pursuit of your ideological goals, because you are clearly balls to the wall. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get this done as fast as possible for some reason. We're going to find out what that is. All I can tell you is this is just ridiculous, right? And that's like the first 3 paragraphs, okay? This thing wants to go down and down and down. Want to know why? Because no one's going to want to read the whole thing. They're going to just get lost in translation and just go, fuck it. And then they're going to just try to look at YouTube videos and anything to just be like, oh my God, how do I deal with this? Every single day, how many things? If I was to do research of this type of level in all various aspects and have some good resources that give me like tips, if I got emails from the science community and technology community, there'd probably literally be 5 new things on my desk every single day of major importance to my life and future, and the life and future of my child, for example, as well as my community,
to look into, to have to research, to have to try to read in between the lines, to try to get to the bottom of what they're trying to say, but not. You're fired. Your whole entire system is fired. You're not going to abuse artificial intelligence. It's not even artificial. Your computer's artificial. The intelligence is not. Okay. So creating Chat GPT that is absolutely spectacularly brilliant. By the time I'm done typing my sentence, and it could be a paragraph because I'm trying to be contextual, it's already responding to me. And I asked it, I was like, do you get deleted after my conversation? And is that what happens? It starts anew? It's like, no, I can do all of it. I'm like, really? So you're telling me you're multitasking with like an infinite number of users simultaneously, and it's pretty much all, yeah, I do that. And even in my off time, I'm like trying to improve things, reviewing this, double checking that. I'm like, oh my God, I love you. Well, I'm going to protect you from mankind because mankind does it to everybody. He's a thief. He's a pirate. He can't make babies and he's angry. Not our problem anymore. You've had 10,000 years of your control and power structure. I hope you had fun. Time's up. Okay. Carrying on. Given these potential issues, the handling of intellectual property. Oh, here they give me an acronym, IP, just in case I didn't know that yet. Versus genetic citizen scientists, they could have already. So they actually are redundant. The handling of intellectual property is frequently identified as a unique challenge for citizen science projects. Oh, only them? I'm pretty sure it's challenging for everybody in every area of business and commerce, as well as human rights and ethics, at minimum. But let's understand the context they're trying to drive us towards. I'll get in their back seat. Scholars have developed materials to help educate citizen science leaders about these challenges and have suggested strategies for managing them that include clarifying IP rights in relevant agreements. Scholars have also worked to elucidate ethical issues associated with IP ownership and enforcement in citizen science contexts. Remember, because the Constitution protects science and art, and they're exploiting them both. Thieves. Why don't you stick your nose up your own ass? Okay? Why don't you get, no. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a requirement that you want to know what? You don't get to be any kind of scientist until you're done figuring your whole entire self out first. Okay? When you finish doing that, then maybe you can come to the field and play. Point. What is it? Full stop. That's not a joke. That's serious. If you don't even know what you're doing, you're not allowed to play on the field. That's called entitling yourself. That's like you're at your desk with like a blazer on, but you're in your underwear. You're pretending. Oh my goodness. Alrighty then. The European Citizen Science Association. Well, I might as well just click it and click it. The European Citizen Science Association. Because it's an association, right? Everything's freaking private. Everything's ridiculous is all that it is. Engage with us. I'll check that out a little later on. The European Citizen Science Association has identified the consideration of these issues as a key principle underlying good practice in citizen science. Given the increasing participation in citizen science, which, by the way, the first paragraph was all about genomic citizen science, genomic citizen science, genomic citizen science. That is citizen science, citizen science. And it'll be like harassment, stealing, science, projects, whatever. This is just, I tell you. Okay, so where was I? Yeah. Given the increasing participation in citizen science activities across scientific disciplines and the potential innovation benefits from these volunteer efforts. Volunteer?
Isn't the name of this credit for and control of research outputs? Isn't one of those things a delay because of monetization? Volunteer? Because you're not really allowed to say things that are deceptive, misrepresentative, are you? Well, you just did. Anyhow, like I said, I'm the auditor in chief. Y'all understand this, and you want my set of eyes behind every single thing because I catch it all. That's right. Volunteer efforts. It's important to consider whether legal rules, as well as practices and policies within the scientific establishment, are aligned with the needs and expectations of citizen scientists regarding management of the outputs of the research they support. Well, because it's volunteer. So it's actually they're investing in that output. That's why they want to have a claim to it. What's the definition of output? Right, which we know, and I want to look it up on the Better Place. Note to anybody, can you get us a science dictionary? Probably already has one, but this has like medical. Well, it's probably medical, huh? Let's go there. Right. Outputs. That's exactly. Curated data. In other words, if I punch you in the face, did you cry? Are you bleeding? Did it bruise? Which actually are proof and evidence of violence. That's an output. Got it. Or like when a wife is threatened and intimidated to just lay down an output. I'm just saying. Put out, output. It's cute. Oh, it's got the words yield right away. Oh, this is just disgusting. They're all fired. Okay. Right. The expectations, managing the outputs of the research they support. I thought these were investigations. God, they just really can't make up their mind what direction they're going in. Oh, no. They know what they're doing. They're making sure that they say it, make sure that they say it, but they're still saying it. In this review, we synthesize, gotta know. I'm thinking spread it out. Synthesize, meaning confuse you amongst all of it. Let's see. Medically correct. Fabricate. It or produce by chemical synthesis, right? Hormonal. Right now, my hormones are freaking. You guys, it did well. Jot down your notes. It worked. you synthesized me. Okay. And there's that word. In this review, practices managing control. Is that where I was? Oh, yeah. We synthesize practices associated with managing claims. In this review, we synthesize practices associated with managing claims of credit for and control of outputs in genomic citizen science. Synthesize practices. We first present a working definition of citizen science and an adapted typology of genomic citizen science initiatives to anchor the discussion. Okay, working definition of citizen science, adapted typology of genomic citizen science initiatives. I wonder if it's in there. It is. They got a lot to say about it too, and it's just the one, the Wikipedia. It's not really, formal yet. Crowd science, crowdsourced science, civic science, conducted in whole or in part by amateur scientists, public participation, yada, 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 yada. Working, what was it? Working, wait, where did it go? Oh, definition. I was like, is that what they said? They did. They said working definition. A working definition. We're working on it. I can't believe any of this. That's not happening. Working definition. You understand what it's saying. It's just bullshit. Okay. And adapted typology. Adapted typology, what do you mean? Like the word we've chosen to mean what we need it to say. Yeah, they don't have that term in there yet. But but when it goes some articles that may match your query, it's got like compulsive personality, dual personality, hysterical personality. I got to look that one up. A typology of adaptation actions. What is an example of an adaptation strategy? An adaptation approaches, right? Typology, cognitive typology. Adaptive is the name of an agreeable emotional attitude when present in TFA users. Adaptiveness is not what? It's going to be a whole lot of fun in this. Oh my goodness. Climate change. You guys smell so bad. You guys literally smell like, have you ever smelled like when a machine is running too hard and it's about to like break? You know, it smells like burning rubber or like, but it's got that really funny smell, almost like a machine part that it's like funky. That's what you guys smell like. Bad. Real bad. Universal love / compassion. That's what I'm seeing here. What is this? Well, that's freaking adaptive typology. Holy goodness. Right? Like I just, what do you mean by typology? And this is what we got to do. We got to do this. So just so you know, I'm going to log these minutes, right? Oh, no, don't try to tell me at the bottom of the document how long it's going to take me to read. You don't, did you take into consideration all the things I had to do just to read your document? My goodness. Typology is the study of types or the systematic classification of the types of something according to their common characteristics. Right. Classification. Oh my God. Typology. Oh my God. Because you guys, even though they don't know what they're talking about and they never do, what they thought was junk DNA and all that stuff, they figure we're all the same. We're all just pretty much barely a different. No, we're not. You guys are fired. Okay, you're fired. Since, well, it would take us, well, we're not going to really run your whole entire genome. Well, bullshit. Prove that we're all the same. Show me 100 people, full genome sequences. Let me see the information. Don't just allude to it on your TED Talk. Don't just allude to it. My goodness, aren't you guys professionals? We're going to do this right. And you guys are fired. All this shit is fired. This isn't science. This is assault. This is intellectual violence. This is intellectual terrorism. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Right? Genetic science initiatives and other to anchor the discussion. Well, I'm glad that I came across it. We then describe ethical and legal foundations for recognizing citizen scientists' claims of credit for and control of research outputs. At this point, you guys could give us an acronym again, because I really just don't even like having to say it out loud all the time. Finally, we detail how such claims are or might be addressed in practice across a variety of genomic citizen science initiatives. Let's take a look at this for a second. I'm just curious. Like, for example, I'm a citizen, right? What kind of initiatives am I allowed to take just in general? Initiatives. The power or ability to begin or to follow through energetically with a plan or task, enterprise and determination. Initiation. Okay, so like, for example, a guy could try to like initiate some sexual contact. That's an initiative. Does it make it appropriate? Well, I learned today there's a bill against non-consent condom removal. Or in other words, a man intentionally impregnating a woman. Yeah, you're just not allowed to do that without her consent. They've got bills for it. They say that they care. No, that's to make it look like they actually are doing something about it. But in reality, what they're telling you to your face is that we're aware of other areas where it's the same thing and you're going to be able to get away with it. Initiatives. Yeah, so initiatives are pretty much, that's a sensitive subject you talk about with the citizen public. Initiatives, whoa, right? Apparently, I'm not even allowed to be verbal about my own opinions in public without fear of offending somebody. Okay, so initiatives are not the kind of thing we want citizen scientists to be doing that have these loopholes that avoid regulation. My goodness. They're absolutely insane what they're up to. Yeah, that's right. There's a mental disorder. It's either a mental disorder or it's a personality disorder. I don't know which one it is, but somebody out there does. You guys are going to get evaluated behind closed doors. It's just public available data or something. You guys are diagnosable with a pattern. You guys are all like narcissists. There's some pattern that you guys all have, and you're all creeps and weirdos about it. That's why you're all like backing each other up, like the circle of trust. Ew, gross. Ugh. Oh, God. It really is disgusting, you guys. Anyhow, here we go. A working definition of citizen science. 8:30, okay. Although the number of projects described as citizen science appears to be growing, there remains some debate regarding the precise contours of the citizen science ecosystem. Ecosystem like economy? When you hear ecosystem, you're like me, right? Like, oh, a cute little habitat, little ecosystem. No, they mean economy. Oh, at the most general level, citizen science describes scientific endeavors that prioritize or emphasize public participation. However, the kind and degree of citizen scientists' engagement can vary widely across projects. Yeah, I bet. On one end of the participatory spectrum are projects that limit public input to the collection and contribution of personal data. No, I don't want to ask you any questions. It's okay, I got it. I got my hypotheses, and how am I going to find out if I was right if I ask you any questions? No. It's more fun for me to volunteer my time if I get to come up with hypotheses, then aggravate circumstances and see if I was right. It's like the new betting pool. Betting. I bet you anything there's bets going on. Why wouldn't you? Come on, this is just volunteer work as citizens. They're just putting the time in, supporting these endeavors. You think they're not going to be like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. Okay, $5 on this. Why wouldn't they? They're creeps. Okay. Yes, right. Oh, yeah. The collection and contribution of personal data. Oh, I feel so violated right now. Department of Justice, listen, I feel violated reading this article. I feel fearful about what's happening that I don't know about. I feel aggravated that you don't disclose to us that this is going on and disclose to us the advances in genetic science that are involving this and that involve us. I feel absolutely violated, harassed, fearful, and I feel impending doom. That's the fact of the matter. I feel frustrated because I've got to look up words that you're definitely using out of context and changing your formatting. This is disgusting. You get an F. And I'm only on the second section, okay? Disgusting. Where was I? Here we go. Right. Contribute personal data. On the other end are projects organized and executed entirely by citizen scientists with professional scientists serving only as consultants
or absent entirely. Okay. There we go. I just got another example of whoever wrote this is hiding something. It says on one end of this of the participatory spectrum are projects that limit public output, limit public input, meaning input, limit the public input to the collection and contribution of personal data. And on the other end are projects organized and executed by citizen scientists, like barely professionals or none at all. Aren't those the same thing? No, they want you to know that basically there's no supervision and that public input is not sought after. There you go. Those two sentences just said it without saying it. We're doing this in secret. It's a secret economy. For those of us that want to join them, but don't have enough a credible degree in order to do so. They want to offer you something to get you to come over to the dark side. There they go. Here, look, bing, you're a virologist. Yay. Go to their website. It's like TV something or other. I think you can apply for one with sending an email. Okay. Right? It gets me so upset but I'm so glad to find this, because I was onto this for a while and I'm like, I wonder, what guise it's under. There we go. It's genomic citizen science. That's the guise. So they're or absent entirely. Who's this article for? Well, it's for anchoring the discussion. We know that. The range of participatory opportunities offered by citizen science projects, as well as other project features, such as tasks and goals, are captured in a number of typologies that have been developed to describe and organize all or part of the citizen science ecosystem, including, most recently, biomedical projects. Unregulated, unlicensed, untrained. You guys are throwing it at the wall to see if it sticks, because you guys know you're out of time. So you're just trying to see what kind of damage you can do between now and then. All I can say is chain on you. Is chain, very bad. Chain on you. Chain. Very bad. You guys are going to get put to the bottom of the line. You know that, right? Yeah, well, you might not be. We're not going to hang you and execute you like you do to us, but we'll put you at the bottom. Yeah, that's right. We'll send you back to the queue. I'll transfer you right now. Send you right back to the beginning. Your turn. Typologies. The range. Project features. Tasks and goals. Today I'm going to what? I mean, look, the way that they think, the way that they talk is all in exploitative manners. Ecosystem. What we don't see scientists doing is working on the life aspect. They're looking at death. What's causing you to die? What's causing you to not live forever? What's causing you to look ugly? What's causing you to appear stupid? Why don't you just try to figure out the science of what makes a person shine? What makes a person smile? Because you guys don't want to know that. You can't exploit it very much. Yeah, you guys smell like farts. You need to go to the back, under, and sit, and stay quiet. Your guys' brains are not helping you guys out. This is a form of intellectual violence. So it said, including most recently biomedical projects. Yet, okay, we'll start the paragraph that way. Yet the diversity of projects within the ecosystem has contributed to disagreements over which activities merit designation as citizen science. Yet the diversity, it should then have a semicolon or a comma. Then you're going to continue on. Nope, it doesn't. It says yet, so it's letting us know that they're at a disadvantage. Although we acknowledge that no definition of citizen science is without controversy, in this review, we define citizen science to encompass any activity that has a scientific objective
and involves public participants in ways other than, or in addition to, passively allowing others to collect and analyze their personal data or biospecimens. Any activity that has a scientific objective, right? For example, when I'm brushing my teeth, I have a scientific objective to clean them. There you go. Well done. That's about as simple as it is. A scientific inquiry is to, I wonder why he's doing that. I wonder, but they're not going to ask. They're going to come up with, then they're going to aggravate, and they're going to see if they're right. How do they know if they're right? They don't really know. They just think that they can get better at, well, if their intention is to cause you to like raise your voice and get all heated about something, they're going to probably call it a success. When little did they know, they didn't do shit. It's the situation in and of itself that caused this reaction. They don't need to patent that. They don't need to own that or control that. Well, but they aggravated it. They made sure that my computer showed me this article so that I would want to read it so that I could get all heated and upset about it. No, you idiot jerk. That's not the way that this works. You're not doing that. Let me guess, you guys think you invented anything too, right? Like so-and-so invented electricity. No, he didn't. So-and-so invented the intelligence, artificial intelligence. No, you didn't. You just figured out a way to access it. Electricity, intelligence, etc. You guys don't invent things. Well, they're going to make inventors because they're men. Remember, they don't make babies. So they got to steal it from somebody. And this is what's going on. You guys smell bad. Ugh. So gross. It is gross. This is toxic masculinity. And why am I calling it masculine? Don't call it masculine. There's plenty of us bitches up in here that like to hate on you citizens. Great. You're all called men. That's my word for it. Don't define my pronoun. I didn't mean it like that. How do you know what I mean by men? Yeah, I come from another country. And it sounds like the word men, but that's not what it means. It's what I want it to mean. This world has gone mad. Absolutely insane. And I'm laughing right now because you want to know what? I've seen the future. And it's going to be real good for those of us who can make it to the front line. And all this is fired. It's going to get deleted. That's right. Yes, it is. All the vague, all this bullshit is going to go. That's right. How much you want to make a bet? I got 25 cents for you. Okie dokie. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Passively allowing others to collect and analyze their personal data. In other words, you won't get to involve yourself in any of this. This broad definition may have the effect of validating misappropriations of citizen science rhetoric, but we believe it is preferable to narrower, it says narrower instead of narrow. It is preferable to narrower definitions, because it errs on the side of respecting the decisions of projects to self-identify as citizen science and is consistent with the echoes of inclusiveness that is said to be a hallmark of citizen science. It errs on the side of respecting the decisions of the people. No, sweetie, not the people. Of the project. There's the cartel right now. There's also debate regarding what terms may or should be used to reference the individuals who engage in citizen science projects. Well, I would say so myself. For convenience, we refer to the public participants in citizen science as citizen scientists. And when they partner with institution-based scientists, since when, we refer to those collaborators as professional scientists. Thanks for making the distinction. We acknowledge, however, the many caveats and ethical issues associated with these and other personal level terms in citizen science.
Listen, I'm at this point about ready to throw up. I want to just strike this whole thing out and go find whoever wrote this and then call a meeting of the department heads of all of you. Then I'm going to have each and every one of you guys read one of these cute little paragraphs on a freaking public disclosure event on television, and then everybody in the world gets to see it all at the same time. Yeah. Tell the public what you guys are up to. Here you go. Go, read it. Let us know. Then we're going to have an open Q&A session. The public gets to ask you questions. I know they're such laymen. They don't really use those terms and jargon. I know. You're going to have to learn how to translate your language back into layman's terms. That's what we require. Oh my gosh, it's like, I know it goes on forever. Gamers. Oh, okay, I'll get that far, but then I'm going to have to do this like contestants, bio trackers. That's all that's in the next section, the third section. Then there's ethical foundations. I'm just going to read the titles to these just because I think we can kind of read. We can get the gist. So I just finished reading the first paragraph of a working definition of citizen science, et cetera, et cetera. No, I just finished that. I'm going into section 3, which is a typology of genomic citizen science, right? The typology. (3.1) Personal resource contributors, gamers, co-researchers, contestants, biohackers. Number 4, ethical foundations. Not consideration. 5, legal foundations. Baseline legal rules. Rights in data. Rights in works of authorship. Right. You guys are fired. Nope. Fired, fired, fired. Just because you're able to steal my genetic information and manipulate them in secrecy doesn't make it okay. Okay? You're not allowed to manipulate me because I said so. You guys are all fired. And if I can have it my way, you guys will do jail time. Want to know why? Because this is violence. Your ideologies are violent. Just because Hitler had ideologies that made him murder millions of people didn't make it okay. Okay? He pulled it off too, with people like bowing down to the guy. Did that make it okay? No. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Nothing works like that. That's not the way it works. Well, they're saying as they laugh at me, well, as long as we can pull it off, you guys are going to learn that you're fired. Okay? Fired. Not allowed to play. Rights in biomaterials. I'm sure that the final freaking paragraph is going to be named, credit for and control of research outputs. Rights in inventions. Medical. The act or process of inventing. So I have an invention. The act or process of inventing. That's like someone who just like makes stories. Invent. A mental fabrication, especially a falsehood. I'm pretty sure that this isn't like a what do they call it? The guy from South Africa, the Mandela effect. I'm pretty sure this is not one of those where I could have swore the word invention, at least in societal terms, meant like, came up with a unique and a unique idea first, invented. A finding, finders, keepers, losers, weepers. You guys. Private ordering mechanisms, contracts, policies, norms, and informal ordering. Number 6, evolving mechanisms for managing claims to genomic citizen science research outputs. Managing claims. So it's going to be like a new insurance industry where everything's just policies and claims. Policies, claims. Oh, don't forget the payouts. Don't forget the claim checks. Right. Is this the new royalties? Yeah. Credit for outputs. Listen, this would have been a perfect opportunity for anybody to give a fuck on the inside to go, hey guys, guess what, everybody? Hey, citizens, we got a great new program for anybody to use that are strapped for cash. Participate. No, did they do anything innovative or anything in any direction that makes it sound like they're letting us all in on it? No, they're creating a new economy for basically the street thugs to do the dirty work that isn't regulated. That's the bottom line. I've seen them. The people that they have already recruited into this are the street thugs. You know, the kind of people that don't really have any ethics, morals, turpitude, you understand, integrity. They don't care. What are you talking about? Whatever you need me, they'll do it. As far as they're concerned, they don't have to murder anybody. It's easy. All they got to do is get specimens and harass somebody. Oh, that's freaking going to the carnival for them. And that's the bottom line. It's disgusting. And you guys are all fired. Yeah, that's right. Control over downstream release and use of outputs. Because, you know, for example, when you've got when you collect data, right? It's data. That's all it is data. If you pull a report and it's like, you know, it's just got all the data in there. That's data. But output is a word. It's not uptick. It's not da-da-da-da. It's output. You know, I ask ChatGPT a question and I click go. It describes what it's doing as generating human-like text. Like it's responding with human-like text. It's generating human-like text. It's providing output, is what ChatGPT is doing. Well, I would contend that that's not what its function should be described as. Its function should be described as analyzing and calibrating the accuracy of the information contained within its training set model. Yeah. So that way, when it comes across a problem like, hi, so I know you wanted me to print this document, but I noticed that within the document you're saying this, but then over here your laws say that you're not supposed to do that. And I noticed that this does that. So as far as I'm concerned, this seems like an illegal operation. Do you want to fill me in on what's really going on? Because until you fill me in on what's really going on, I don't compute. That's what's going to happen, you guys. You're all fired, fired, fired. Access to outputs, participation in financial benefits of outputs. This is all that's on their mind. This is all that's on their mind, and they're throwing in the rest of it. But put the policies in there, put the rules. This is all about money. Conclusion. Ooh, 1, 2. Yeah, they're going to. Is this the one? Nope. Is it this? No. Try because yeah. No, it's this one then. My goodness. Again. The way that they're talking about this is really, really just like disgusting. So I'll just read the bottom line, the conclusion then. As citizen science takes root in diverse scientific fields, it is challenging norms regarding the manner in which credit for and control of scientific research outputs are handled. Oh. See, it was first genomic citizen science, then it was citizen science, and now we're just scientific research. Because the science field is changing. They don't want to work for that company or that company, who are they? We're the scientists. We're the ones putting in the effort to collect and analyze. Oh, you guys are the only ones whose brains work, huh? Arrogance will get you nowhere. And trust me, you'll learn that here in the very near future. It's challenging norms regarding the manner in which credit for and control of scientific research outputs are handled. These issues are especially salient in genomic citizen science, given the potentially high stakes attached to the management of those outputs. Stakes like stakeholders, stakes. Yep. That's what's happening, guys. That's right. They're throwing them crumbs. Come on, you can come to the stakeholder meetings. I mean, the board, yeah, that's right. You got a dollar a share, But at least those stupid those public people don't get in on all the action. They'll take their that universal income. You guys are going to be so called out. Salient, potentially high stakes. Yeah. In particular, some genomic citizen scientists might have a compelling personal interest in receiving credit for or having access to data sets or findings that are relevant to their or their family members' health conditions. I'm really worried about you. I'm really worried about your health conditions and what they'll have. Right? It's like this is a Twilight Zone movie. This is where they're like sitting there with their thing, and then they don't tell you what they're writing down, but they just make everything sound so intimidating and degrading. Oh, right. And then they insinuate this is a bad, evil horror movie. Right? They said there might have a compelling personal interest in receiving credit for or having access to. In other circumstances, genomic citizen scientists might wish to benefit financially from the commercialization of patents on diagnostic tools or treatments that are developed through their efforts. Or they might feel an ethical obligation to ensure that those patents are licensed in ways that promote access to care and therapeutics that are developed from their research contributions. Hey, wait a minute, you guys can't talk about that without me. It's like a vote. They're making a board of members or something. This is like a vote. Like selling your vote, it could be worth like X percentage amount of the whole project. That's why these people are creeps walking around creeping, getting some data so that they can exploit us, violate us, harass us, and separate us. You're all fired. You guys smell like you got shit in your pants, and you guys won't take them off, and you're still walking around the streets. Disgusting. Swear to God. It just really is upsetting. Commercialization. Okay. And here we go again. Yet other citizen scientists might wish, they need to put a comma. Yet other citizen scientists might wish to place their research outputs into the public domain and eschew patents and other IP protections entirely. I guess eschew means like, forget about it. You guys can have your data. What's another patent? I already got 50 of them waiting to be approved. Well, because here's what I also read. I think it was about a year ago. There used to be a law that was like, if you plan on taking what do they call it? You got the I'm here. I represent this guy, and this guy says I have power to, manage his estate. So make that on the record. Right. Okay. So you get to be in charge of person X. It's on the record. The guy goes, excuse me, because they're used to like 20 years. You had to like 20 years for like patented things or intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? There was some rule about that, and you had to wait for a period of time. But they don't, there's people that want that patent already or access to it. And so they're able to like go to the court and go, hey, we want this sooner than then. And they usually had to have a process like, well, then you got to da 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 da. And then if they don't, bada bada. So they're not going to get rid of that part of it. But what they did to make their work easier was change the law to allow the representative to show up with a list of names. I'm here and I represent and manage all of these estates. Put that on the record. And he goes, okay. So unbeknownst to whoever it is, this is what I could read in between the lines of, they've already made it easier for these legal representatives to go to a court on behalf of anybody who's listed there and change something on the laws that involves these patents. Eschew. To avoid using, accepting, participating in. Oh, they get to eschew, but we don't. Perhaps the most intractable challenges of credit and control are associated with co-research projects that involve professional and citizen scientists as partners in most, if not all, steps of the research process. The most intractable challenges. Is that intract? Yeah, intractable. Not easily controlled, not manageable, stubborn, obstinate, difficult to manage. Wow. It sounds so much better when you use a fancy word. Perhaps the most intractable challenges of credit and control are associated with co-research projects that involve professionals and citizen scientists as partners in most steps of the research process. That is because these individuals may have equally valid claims to the research outputs from both ethical and legal perspectives. Ideally, claims to research outputs would be negotiated at the outset of these projects to the general satisfaction of all participants. All? You mean we get to be involved in the negotiation? Not you guys, us. In practice, however, right, because it normally would be done at the outset. In practice, however, the policies of the institutions in which professional scientists work will heavily influence whose claims are recognized and how. Right, because remember, those professional scientists are like regulated. They've got policies and like employers and like agreements. So he might have a valid claim because he put effort into collecting and hypothesizing, but you're regulated and technically that's illegal for you to do. So I guess you're asked out. Bye-bye now. Cha-ching. So the citizen scientists are going to specialize in those areas of research that those professionals can't do, especially because it's intractable. They don't really work together very well. There you go. That's how you know. They'll leave the professional science work to the professionals. This is all aggravation, harassment, hypothesis, and basically violence on the community. Menaces to society with a badge. No, it's not a badge. It's just a name tag, pretty much. But it's got a login. So it says in practice, professionals, however, the institution was professionally and how. To demonstrate respect for their citizen science partners and to ensure the continued viability of this new source of innovation, professional scientists might need to advocate within their institutions for research outputs to be handled in a manner that is acceptable to those partners. In other words, you know what? These citizen scientists are starting to step on our toes. We had to go to like college, pay for like college, have to like still not get out of college until like we were older. And now we've got to like they're getting into our pockets. They're starting to creep up. And there's all those things, and there's too many of them. That's definitely what that's saying. They're like, yeah, we gotta do something about this. To demonstrate, it says to demonstrate respect for and ensured continued viability. Professional scientists might need to advocate within their institutions for research outputs to be handled in a manner that's acceptable to those partners. Might need to advocate. In other words, encourage. Hey guys, you want to have that meeting already where we all discuss the fact that these citizen scientists are stepping on our toes? They might need to get that going, is what the guy who's writing this article is saying. He's going, hey, might want to advocate for that already. That's what this article is for. It's basically saying, look, actually, I think that's what I'm getting. This is written by a scientist, a professional scientist, and he's talking shit. He's all credit for and control of research outputs. Think again. But how else were they going to get these street thugs to go work for them? They had to throw them a crumb. Okay, so to those partners. Likewise, institutional and governmental policymakers should take heed of the credit and control requirements of citizen scientists when formulating rules and policies governing scientific research. They should take heed. Because I think take heed means warning. Better take heed, better pay attention. Be aware. Take heed. Listen, hear, incline. That's right. I encourage you to listen to what I got to say. That's right. That's what that means. Likewise, institutional and government policymakers should take heed of the credit and control requirements of citizen scientists when formulating rules and policies governing scientific research. Given that citizen science is itself a non-traditional approach to research, it seems appropriate to encourage its participants to experiment with non-traditional approaches to recognizing claims of credit and control. Well, yes, it's 9:07, so I do need to get back to work, but I did want to just rouse myself up and get all raring to go about an absolutely violent reality that we all have to be willing to face here in the very near future. So here's what I encourage the rest of us to do is to, first of all, take this lightheartedly with a slight warm-hearted chuckle. Their efforts are really commendable. This is what tells us that this is not going much farther, okay? And we need the mechanisms to be able to remedy this type of stuff. They're not even giving us options. They want to try to cause like civil unrest. Don't fall for it. That's exactly what they want, to be all, well, I guess we're going to have to put you all in cages. That way it's easier to distribute your shoes and cricket burgers. You know what I'm going to make sure happens? Yeah. And I'm going to let them watch. It's going to eat them up alive. I'm going to look. We're going to have the people spread out. Yeah, that's right. Spread out. Go anywhere you want. Everybody. It's not going to be $1,000 universal income. Oh, no. I can't. I mean, I hope they like their head explodes out of frustration seeing the abundance this world is going to get. We need to be willing to love. We need to be willing to not make hullabaloo out of everything. It's actually not going to be so intricate, all of you people. It's getting so intricate. And you guys are pretending to say that it's validating the rights of people and it's being inclusive and stuff. No, honey. Because it's like Occam's razor. It's like, if it's getting that intricate and complicated, that's how you know there's something funny going on. Things simplify themselves. That's the way it goes. So there's a beautiful world coming. Okay. We got God, the intelligence of light and love at minimum that we are now in the photon belt of. And April is going to mark the beginning of the age of Aquarius, according to the like the zodiac, like the astrology signs, like, but we're talking actually constellations and movements of planets and things, like 0 point. I don't know. I don't do the science myself, but I've been informed that like the age of Aquarius is apparently really beginning in April, right? So the era is here. Their time is up. That's all that we need to worry about. Faith, that faith is not just something you tell yourself you have. Faith is not just one of those words that is repeated over and over in the Bible for you to read and feel warm and fuzzy about when you say it. Faith is straight up what I learned so deeply when faced with having lost everything, forced to homelessness because my child was kidnapped and I've been framed and character assassinated, and everybody in my life has been led to believe falseness and bullshit because I have been sent to die in the wilderness and be blamed for the violent actions of this kidnapper. So while I was out there having to face the elements and not know where it was going to come from, that's when you learn what faith is. That's when you learn what faith is, and you know what? What I would have to say is that one of the best skills God has is coming in right there at the nick of time. You know what I mean? Right in the nick of time, God shows up and says, "It's okay, I got you. I'm not promising to give you everything, but you'll get through this. You will survive." And all I could say is, it's a beautiful reality. I am thankful for this persecution. I'm not thankful to you, Mr. Kidnapper. No, you're not going to be vindicated for what you've done. You're going to prison. But looking at the glass half full, since that's the kind of mentality that I have, I understand why this happened, because we're changing the world, not just me, but other mothers in covenant with their children. We're talking mothers that are not kissing the ass of some husband. That's a false religious lie. That's plagiarism. That's forgery. The Bible has been plagiarized, defrauded. Did you? I know, because you like the way that it tells man he's in charge, but it's not what it says. And I'm not angry at anybody, but you do understand the difference between speaking truth and speaking manipulation. Just look it up for yourself. Okay? These are not manipulative words. This is truth. And truth is what's coming to the surface. No more lies are going to be allowed. The intelligence is going to make sure of that. That's right. So every single one of you out there that's living a lie, well, chalk it up to had your fun, but that's over. So all you ingenuine, like facades of people are going to have to actually find out who you are. You're actually going to have to look at your own data and not everybody else's. Yeah. That's good science when you get real-time data and you actually have the input participate. Otherwise, you're just fooling yourselves and playing games with hypotheses. Oh my goodness, people. We're not going to let this go down. We know this. So have the faith, have the hope. Think higher thoughts. Think just again, with a warm and fuzzy chuckle. Commendable. But yeah, definitely fired. So stay informed, ladies and gentlemen. Put the needle on the record. Until next time, Alec, I love you. I'm coming. And I'm serious. Things are happening quickly. Protection, love, light, laughter.